All right, let's go. Wake up. That's me talking to me. I went to the gym. I woke up a little bit late this morning. I went to the gym. I came home and I had some chicken. I was sitting in my chair, gone. I was out for like 40 minutes. I just woke up like 10 minutes ago. Oh, man. Good thing I woke up. I hadn't even created the stream. Might have been 20 minutes ago, whatever it was. Hey, Amanda. Metal, how's everybody doing? So, yeah, Pomo had Google eyes last night with how much he loved that game, right? Yep, I knew we. Yeah, I agree with you, man. It figures that's the game we would win, but it's good. It's good that was the response. It showed that they still have a little bit of life left in them. You know, it showed that they still have some fight in them. That they were not happy. What the hell's somebody shooting outside? We have a military proving grounds. We have the Aberdeen proving grounds, which I don't know, it's 20, 30 miles away, whatever it is, might be less. And they're always out there blowing shit up. So sometimes they blow up stuff so much the house shakes. But yeah, so now the question is going to be: Is Maurice going to change the lines back? Right? Because we've seen him be willing to change the lines even after we've won a game. So, hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. She says, I think if Chucky or Bennett mix it up, we are hard to beat. Yeah, Chucky was in a mood last night. He was in a foul mood last night. Now, I will say that it's not really translating to him producing a lot of points, right? But he is stirring shit up. Although, can somebody explain to me, hey, Jackson, can somebody explain to me how Chucky got the second penalty last night? I mean, they literally made it up. They literally invented. I mean, he lays the hit and then he turtles on the ground and they got him in a chokehold and somebody or somehow they get him for an extra 2 minutes of roughing. And then even the ESPN broadcasters were basically like, bro, what? Come on, man. So, but at least New Jersey didn't score on that power play. But now I know that I said I wanted Samoskevich up with Barkov and Reinhardt. I still would like to see that. But I don't think him with Bennett and Luosterainen, that doesn't work. Because especially in Luosterainen's case, Samoskevich needs to be with guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. My contention with him is his speed and tenacity could create opportunities for Barkov and Reinhardt. Bennett is not playing like Bennett right now. Well, Luosterainen is not a guy that's going to really, feed a lot off of a guy like Samoskevich. He needs to be surrounded by some guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. Or maybe Lundell, Samoskevich, Bolquist, but I know somebody would have to play on their offside with that, right? Because of his name, that's why his name comes with it. Right. Yeah, exactly. With Chucky, yeah. One Wilder Face guy says, I think Spencer can now be taken seriously as an NHL goalie. I'm sure he'll have some stinkers of games out there like all goalies, but people will be screaming to bring him into the ECHL. Yeah. I don't want to leave that out. Spencer, that's two shootouts that we've won, right? Because he won the one with Pittsburgh too. And, he had to face Sidney Crosby in that one. Yesterday was Hughes. So he's gone up against some top competition in these shootouts and gotten us the extra point each time. That's all good for his confidence, man. So, I mean, he played a whale of a game yesterday. And so I said at the start of the recap, I said, let's Spencer, if you got one, if you could steal us one, now would be the time. And he did. Silva. Yeah, Maurice put Chucky on the first line. He put Samoskevich with Bennett and Luosterainen on the second line. So, and then they had said in the chat that they had moved Greer to the third line, but that must have been short-lived or a mistake because by the second period, Greer was back on the fourth line. Great White says, now Bubba plays the next 3 or 4 games, Jaws. Why is Maurice not giving Spencer back-to-back games? Great White, the only explanation I can give you that makes any sense is that that is the way Bobrovsky wants it. You know, from a fan standpoint, we look at it like, let's not wear him out. But I know that for me, as I've gotten older, more rest in between the workouts just makes it worse. Like I'm significantly stronger if I get into a groove of going to the gym 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row than I am if I try, well, you know, I'm 53, maybe I should do 2 days on and 1 day off. But he might be in a situation where he feels like his body is going to respond better if he just keeps playing at a regular schedule. And for some athletes, that rest part can be overrated for sure. Thank you, Great White. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. So it says, how Chucky looking Barkov and Reinhart and Mackey with mouthwash and Benny. We won the game, but I don't think it. Like I said, with Sam Miskevich, he needs guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. I really honestly think put him with Barkov and Reinhart just to see, because he creates so much chaos because of his speed. You know, he did take the penalty trying to get around a guy yesterday, which is kind of a weak call. But he's a rookie, so they're going to call that shit against him, right? Trying to speed around somebody that maybe he wasn't able to speed around. But I like Sam Miskevich to be moved up in the lineup, but I think the worst possible combination of guys to put him with is Bennett and especially Luosterainen. So, and in terms of Tkachuk with Barkov and Reinhart, it didn't pop. It didn't. Barkov looks absolutely exhausted. He's getting bullied off the puck. He's making mental mistakes. I mean, he got stripped of the puck a couple of times. So whatever pop that combination was going to give us, we've seen it work before. But Barkov just doesn't look like himself at all. Maybe he's like Kenneth. Kenneth says, I'm homesick today. First sick day in 3 years. I appreciate that, Kenneth. Damn, man. That's dedication. That's dedication. But, yeah, Barkov's not looking right. I don't think he's hurt. He just looks like he's beat. He looks like he's tired. I don't know what he's, but then again, he's always sick, right? Maybe we'll find out that, he's had some stomach virus for a month. You know what I mean? He looks like he's, to be honest with you, when you see him now on camera, it's a weird way to describe it. But you know how when you got a fever a little bit and you're like sweating and you got that gleam about you, he don't look right. He don't look right. So it says, so what if we give Lundell the first line for a bit and leave Barkov on the third and switch Mackey and Chucky? I mean, it could work, but there's no way Maurice is ever going to do that, right? There's just no way Maurice is ever going to do that. I mean, Barkov he wasn't bad, but he's not his normal dominant self. But we won the game, right? And in Paul Maurice's world, honestly, the way that Maurice views it, I think he'd rather win the game tied 1-1 and it goes 3 overtimes than to win the game 2-1 in regulation. I believe if you asked him which one he would prefer, he would say that the triple overtime game would hone the Panthers for the playoffs more. Holy crap. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. All right, much appreciated. Man, this is the worst that Barkov has looked. He's getting bullied out there. He must still be hurt from the earlier season ankle. Could be microfractured still. Interesting. Something's not right. I would hope that that's not it, because it wouldn't make any sense at all to have him out there with any kind of a lingering injury or issue, right? And certainly he's going to be in the world tournament, right? So, I mean, I will hope that you're wrong with that, because with the depth that we have, it would make no sense to have him out there. We totally can. I mean, we could totally make the playoffs with Lundell, Bennett, Boquist, and Nosek at center. But I hopefully it's just a sick thing, a not feeling well thing. Remember last time he was sick? Remember, was it last season he came into camp and he had all beefed up, and then he didn't look right, and then he got sick and he lost a bunch of weight and he looked better, or he played better. So I just wonder now if, like, he came into camp at the right shape and then lost some weight, lost some strength from being sick like that. We got to find out why he's sick all the time. But they've been so careful with these guys and their injuries. I can't imagine that they would throw Barkov out there like that. It would just be stupid. We have so much depth, especially at the center. Let Reinhart play center, for crying out loud. Meadow says, poor Forsling got to pay 45 minutes a night. I know. Is Ekblad coming back Thursday? I think that was the hope. The hope was he was coming back Thursday. But he's another dude that, I mean, just there's no need to rush him back, right? I mean, we allowed a goal to the Devils, right? We can obviously handle ourselves. Neurodynamic, what do you mean we don't have any depth? Where? What do you mean we don't have any depth? We don't have any extra forwards, but I mean, we've got guys that we can call up to play on the fourth line if we got to move anybody up. We just don't have anybody up right now. In terms of center depth, we've got center depth for miles. So it says if Barkov was hurt, Lundell, Reinhart, Mackey, Bennett, Mouthwash, Kachuk, Bolquist, Erod, Verhaeghe, Nosek, Gadjevich, Greer. Right. As long as Gadjevich is healthy. If not, you'd have to move Giles up, or maybe Dalpe. Right. Or maybe Sordiff too. You never know. He could get a shot. I would hope that that's not it. It just wouldn't make any sense for them to throw him out there. Silva says, yeah, Jaws, sometimes people just have bad genetics. My friend as a kid got sick 24/7 and still does. A lot of that has to do with like the parents, you know what I mean? And like you said, genetics and everything. Nearmax says, we can't call up anyone because we have no cap space. But if you would put, well, if Barkov was hurt, you would have put him on LTIR, or IR retroactively if it's not going to be LTIR. But you can call up, there is that emergency. You can have a guy that you call up on an emergency basis. We did that 2 years ago, not last year, but the previous year. The first year we went to the Cup, there were a couple of times when we didn't have cap space to call anybody up. You have to play one game short. You have to play one game short, I believe is the rule. And then, or we could just go 11-7. We could do that. I mean, hell, Adam Boquist is a viable option at forward. You know what I mean? But there's the rule where you can call up a guy on an emergency basis if somebody's injured. Metal says he'll be day-to-day for 50 days, right? Yeah, or someone says don't move anyone up, just have Belinskas play forward again. Right. Or Boquist. Yeah. There's ways. Craig says, plus Barkov playing two ways means not much coasting. That's true. That's true. Yeah, since Bornfoot is playing now, we can spare Belinskas as a forward and have Adam Boqvist play in the third pair. Or leave Belinskas there and have Boqvist play, right? Why not? Either way, we got the point I was making about the depth is we've got room. We've got guys that you can move up that, you know, we could stay status quo, you know. But hopefully he'll get it together. Really, the thing that is kind of irking us all is with that tournament coming up, so many of these guys are not going to get rest when they really could have used the rest, right? They're going to get the opposite of rest. Did anybody hear PK Subban? I want to get your opinion on this. PK Subban was talking on ESPN last night, and he was saying the Four Nations was going to be just as intense as the Stanley Cup final. In fact, he alluded, say, I know the Stanley Cup final was intense, but the Nations tournament might even be more intense. It's going to be that level of hockey. Anybody got an opinion on that? Yeah, Adam, imagine Adam and Jesper in the same line. It'd be fast, that's for sure. In my opinion of Bornfoot, I agree with what Amanda said. Bornfoot and Belinskas will continue to get better. Schmidt is the only one that got worse. Man, if only everybody gave as much effort as Nate Schmidt. Honestly, Nate Schmidt starts to remind me a little bit, I don't want to say of Ekblad, but it's just an adventure. It's 50-50, right? I mean, if he's one-on-one with a guy, it's likely he's getting beat to the net. And that kind of is what Ekblad mostly happens with him too as well. But, I mean, he's moving the puck around decent on the power play. It's just you better pray and hope it doesn't get past them. But I like Bornfoot's game. I think he needs to play a little bit stronger and a little bit bigger. He's not a small guy. He's not a small guy, but he was getting manhandled a couple of times last night. I think that he got caught by surprise a few times. That New Jersey were taking maybe a little bit of a half extra step and laying into him. He ran into a brick wall a couple of times last night. I think he just needs to keep his head up a little bit more. Is Bornfoot here to stay? That's a tough call because I don't know if he's waivers exempt. I mean, we got him off of waivers, so I would assume that he's not waivers exempt, right? So I don't know. I think what everybody was alluding to earlier in terms of if we get a forward short, maybe you put Belinskas or Boqvist at forward for a game. I kind of think Bornfoot might be here because he does present some good depth for us. And you're starting to get to the second half of the season where another team, if he's on waivers, another team might take the opportunity to, you know, check the tires on him while also weakening us. Steven says the Philly black jerseys were so nice. Maybe he wanted to demand that the Panthers get a black jersey. That would be cool. Jason, PK is a clown, right? No way it'll be that intense. Is Nate Schmidt the modern incarnation of Keith Yandel? I've kind of wanted to say that a couple of times, but I think Schmidt gives more effort. I think Schmidt gives more effort. Yandel had that streak because he avoided contact like the plague. Where with Schmidt, at least he has earned his slowness by beating the crap out of his body. Yeah, nobody else feels it'll be that intense. But it'll be more than an all-star game. Right. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. She says PK Subban had to say that on ESPN just to get people excited for the views. No way to be as intense as the Stanley Cup. Hey, I took offense to that, honestly. Thank you, Amanda. When he said that, he's like, well, I know the Stanley Cup was intense, but it's like, I took offense to that. I'm like, well, what are you trying to say, man? And he's usually pretty pro Panthers. So I know he wasn't saying it to knock on us, but I was like, come on, man. But I get it. They got to pump up viewership, right? So it says, yeah, but Jaws, we claimed him off of waivers as number 2 least priority types team, the only team that wanted him. That's true, Silva. That is true. But he's played some games with us and looked halfway decent. You know what I mean? So, that might change another team's mind. And you never know what a team above us injury-wise is dealing with. If another team has a situation where they could just pluck them off of waivers just to screw us, that stuff happens. Julian says, hey, guys, you say that was a top 5 game in Knight's career. I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. Hey, Dana. Hey, JC. Jana says, what's this about some stalker following Jake DeBrusk around? I don't know. I haven't heard that one either. Roger says, I can see Swaggy, Bennett, or Spencer getting traded for someone with more scoring. Bennett, too many penalties. I don't think Spencer's going anywhere. I don't think Bennett's going anywhere. Now, Swaggy, I don't think either one of those guys is going anywhere before the summer. Could you see well, you can't trade Bennett over the summer because he's going to be a free agent. If Mackie Samoskevich was scoring as opposed to just getting opportunities, the team might look at him like maybe we could move on from Verhaeghe. But it ain't happening yet, right? So could that be could it be a situation where I would say that if/when Samoskevich turns into a 20, 25 goal guy, I think then you might see them be willing to move Verhaeghe, but that's not going to be a super easy thing to do. Did he get a no move clause, by the way? The disrespect for the Panthers are guaranteed a first, second, third, and fourth place medal. I like that, Steven. That's true. I didn't think about it that way. DeRisk, I thought it was DeBrusk. I didn't know there was a guy named DeRisk. I just assumed, DeBrusk. Okay, yeah, it is DeBrusk. Someone says, we already sent him down to the AHL twice, so I assume he's already been on a waiver wire. All right. I don't know. I guess we'll find out, right? David says, is it true that the Four Nations trophy is small? That I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. Froggy says, I like Spencer, but why not play him in Philly versus New Jersey? I think that was Zito trying to bait other teams, see how well he played against the Devils. I don't know. Maybe it was just a ploy to give Bob the extra day off, right? And what I mean by that is you play him Monday, Tuesday. So if you play Spencer Tuesday, Bob gets Tuesday, Wednesday off versus Bob would have had Sunday, Monday off. So it still would have been 2 days. So that don't make any sense. I don't know. I have a feeling a lot of that has to do with Bobrovsky. I could be wrong there, but I have a feeling that basically Maurice says, Bob, what do you want to do? And Bob tells him. Maybe Bob was feeling a little bit tired or not tired. I don't know. But I have a feeling a lot of that scheduling has to do with Bobrovsky because Maurice always says, I don't talk to the goalies. I don't know nothing about the goalies. So in that respect, it's probably not even Maurice making that decision. I would guess. I don't know. But my instincts tell me that it's Bobrovsky making those calls. Julian says Bennett isn't going anywhere. Center depth is a dime a dozen, and his play style is needed in the postseason. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get moved. Kenneth says, how many nicknames will Swaggy have by the end of the season? Well, Swaggy, we're going to have to come up with another one if he's not clutch, right? We're going to have to come up with another one if he stops being clutch. Great White, Knight and Bobrovsky both have this year and next year on their contracts. Both contracts expire at the same time. So won't that be a boatload of fun and excitement and conjecture over what's going to happen, unless we extend one or both of them or something happens over the summer, right? That's another part to that, is Knight's going to need a deal. When is that extension going to happen? And that extension, if Knight gets a big extension, that's going to tell us all we need to know about Bobrovsky too, right? Brock says, Jaws, good take on Sammy and Swaggy. Really would like to keep everyone, but need a new spark plug, sort of like Tarasenko was last year. Yeah, apparently Tarasenko's not doing well this year, so he's out. I keep hoping Samoskevich would do it, but I know it's asking a lot out of him because he's a rookie. It's always one of those things where we were in win cup mode now last year. So you don't play Samoskevich last year because you're trying to win a cup. And so maybe now this year he's not as far along as you would have liked him to be. And so it has an effect on some of the decisions that you got to make. But Jesper Boquist, we need to sign Jesper Boquist. We need to sign him because he helps. He can't replace everybody, but when you look a couple of years in the future and you start looking at Erod and Luosterainen, right? And Samoskevich is going to be an RFA. You start looking at some of the other things that are coming up. Having Boquist signed to a nice, cheap, deal for 3 or 4 years would do us well, kind of like we did with Mikkola. Man, it says, who's my favorite player on the Panthers? Forsling. I keep trying to I've asked for a Forsling jersey from Kyle for Christmas for 2 years now. You notice I don't have a Forsling jersey, right? But he got a week vacation in Florida. That's all I'm going to say about that. Hey, Sean, you call him for squiggles? We're going to have to write a song about him. Oh, Julian, what happened to Lockwood? It's a good question. Is he still on the team? I think he was having concussion problems. Somebody remind me, because I think he was having concussion issues. Sean says, did we win last night? Felt like a tie? Pretty much. Remember that? Who here is old enough to remember watching a whole 20 minutes of both teams just playing for the point and the game ending in a tie? Huh? Who remembers that? Right? You just watched the whole 20 minutes and all they're doing is they're playing to just keep the tie. Swaggy, and Shaggy are the 3 names you've seen, right? Carter's next name will be Sloppy. I like that. Yeah. But yeah, Bob would have to take a pay cut, certainly. Yeah. When I say extension, I don't mean at the same price range. That's for sure. Steven says Lockwood's not the answer to anything. He's doomed to never score an NHL goal. Yeah. Did Yanasenko ever get a goal? That poor kid. Davis says possible moves in a deadline like last year when we picked up Tarasenko and Okposo. Somebody was saying on the stream last night we were interested in Cody Ceci. I think there was another name that was bantered around, but I can't remember it. I don't know what they're going to do. And I mean that. I know we all feel like we need the top 4 defensemen, and we kind of do, but it's not going to matter if the offense doesn't pick it up. But then again, we beat the Devils and only allowed a goal last night, right? I know Adonis Forsling clearly needs a day off. I know it, man. and he's going to go to that tournament. I hate to see it, but there's nothing we can do about it. Kenneth says Lockwood's got 24 points in the AHL last year. This year, only 6. Gotcha. Keymaster says, I want to see Jesper and Samoskevich on the line together. Yeah, the problem is, I believe they're both right-handed, right? Because I was trying to get Lundell, Samoskevich, Boquist together, but I think they're both righties. Giannisenko playing very low goal season in the Vegas affiliate. All right, geez. Hey, thank you, Eyes, and Amanda. Thank you. Thank you, Eyes, as I'm reporting for therapy. Jaws, here's my copay. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Amanda. If you guys can be generous and support Jaws and Kyle's, please do. They provide us with much entertainment and content. I genuinely appreciate that. Thank you all, man. Seriously. It makes a huge difference. I can't talk about it just yet, but I got some good news the other day. I got yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday morning, I got some good news, but I can't. I have to be quiet because I don't want to jinx nothing. But I got some good news that will help. Let's put it this way: we're good. We're good now until we're good. We'll put it that way. Nothing's gonna get shut off. Right, Dave says that's the other thing with the 4 nations. A lot of fatigue from our stars. I know, man. It's bothered me since I heard about it, and then everybody was celebrating. Not so much here, but the media was celebrating. The Panthers have like 7 or 8 players. It's like, man, they need rest. And you look at the list of guys that are going, and it's like those are the guys that need rest, right? Man, it says, I said I get you a Forsling jersey. He's your favorite. He's your favorite too. He's just a brick wall. I mean, like, and I don't want to jinx it, but he kind of it's weird, but he kind of reminds me of Fluffy. And I know how that sounds, but what I mean when I say that is like, I don't know if I ever even really told the story how his name got to be Flying Fluffy. We were at a vacation house on the Chesapeake Bay, and he was about 2.5 years old. And the house itself was on a bluff, not so much a cliff, but it had about 15 to 20 feet of stairs that you had to walk down to get to the beach. And it was at a pretty steep angle. And so we're staying at this house. There's no fence, right? And there's all these stairs you got to walk to get down. And so we opened up the back door, and we're getting ready to get their leashes on them so that we could go down to the water. And there were geese in the water right in front of the house. And what Fluffy did was he said, I don't need a stinking leash, and I don't need these stairs. And he took off running, and he just leapt. He just flew right off the cliff and just, boom, 15 to 20 feet down, stuck the landing, and never stopped running. He didn't get to the geese because they took off by the time he got out there. But he scared the shit out of me because he just took off running and just flew right off the cliff. And when I watched him, I mean, he hit the beach sand and he just like clunk and just kept on running. He didn't fall or nothing. So I guess Forsling just reminds me of that in the sense that it's just like a St. Bernard should not be able to jump off of a 15-foot cliff and hit the ground running. That's not possible. It's not, you know what I mean? It doesn't happen. And Forsling just does things on a nightly basis that you could just tell he's grinding his gears body-wise. Something fierce. Now we're talking about the Leafs here. Yeah, what happened with that game last night? Because I know that I think Lawrence was on the top line. Silva says, I had a dream when it was a software on a Windows 98 computer that allowed me to time travel, and it was everything normal, like time, date, location, but there was a squimble slider. So I put the squimble slider to the max, and I was sent to Rick and Morty. I remember Windows 98. Windows 98 until Windows 10 or 11, Windows 98 was the most stable of them all. I used to make so much money selling the Windows 98 discs on eBay. Oh my God, I used to make so much money on those. Just like the Van Halen song Unchained, the Fluffy hit the ground running. Yeah, it was. I wish I would have had it on film. I wish I don't have it on video, which is the part that sucks. But he freaked me the hell out. Donna says, game last night was very good. Honestly, felt like the Panthers played better than I thought. It's interesting they changed from forechecking to cross ice passes, but it led to more chances. They've been doing that a little bit with the cross ice passes, which I don't necessarily like, because too many they're getting blocked too much, intercepted too many times. Oh, you thought he got his name because I had been in the Air Force? No, he got his name because he literally flew off the cliff. I mean, it was the craziest thing. So now we're 1 point behind the Leafs. They lost to the Stars 4-1. Right. Yeah, Spencer had a great time last night. Absolutely. Yeah. I see. I-Force Fluffy. I see. Yeah, no. We have, in fact, on the channel, very early on in the channel, you'll see a video that's, I think it says Virginia Vacation or something like that. I did a vlog, and it's all just footage of the dogs playing and everything, but you can see the stairs in that video. You can see the stairs that I'm talking about, so it gives you a good idea of how tall it was. But you're talking, I think this was the first year of the channel, to be honest, because that's when he would have been 2, is 2016. So we're only 1 point behind the Leafs. Let's look at the 8th seed, shall we? Let me turn off this heater. Can I turn off the house heater? Yeah, I don't hear it. Silva says Maurice is eventually going to become extremely pro-rookie and supportive of the young guys. I'm calling it. Seriously, look at Tortorella. I wonder how I'm pulling up the standings. I wonder what kind of leash do you think Tortorella has in Philadelphia? This is his 3rd year now, right? You would think that they would be expecting more improvement by now. Flying Jaws hockey. So we're 1 point out with Toronto, same number of games played. And then the Lightning are 6 points behind us, 3 games in hand, though. So that's not a gimme. The Bruins keep ticking it. And then there's the Senators at 47 points. But the Bruins are at 49. The Blue Jackets are at 48. So that's the 7 and the 8 seed. Senators at 47. Canadians at 46. Red Wings, Flyers, Penguins at 44. Rangers at 43. Islanders at 41. And the Sabres are they're out. But, the Islanders are 7 points out. That's kind of tough. But the Rangers are only, 5 points out? Yeah. And that's going to be it's going to be a pain in the ass for us, because we play all these teams and they're all going to be desperate for points. Paul Maurice will like that. I don't think Jaws could stick the landing. If I used to be able to stick a landing like that on roller skates, Kenneth. Not ice skates. I wasn't really a big jumper on the ice skates, but with the roller skates, I can do a lot of the stuff like you see the guys do with the skateboards and everything. I wasn't big into skateboarding, but I used to be pretty close to professional level with the quad skates. But no, running, I would have face planted in that. I thought for sure he was going to face plant, break a leg. I mean, who has a St. Bernard that jumps off a 15-foot cliff and sticks the landing? That's the story of how he broke his hip. You know what I mean? Right? Thank you, Craig. Silva says, no, they brought Tortorella in to coach their rebuild. Nobody in the organization has had any expectations of being above bottom 10 league-wide. Torts is working magic on a toilet bowl roster. Gotcha. Okay. All right. That makes a little bit of sense. So then he doesn't have any issues there. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. All right. Holy crap. You guys are on fire today. So let's be real. We aren't trying right now. I think the guys think they can beat anybody at any time, hence the 10-2 or so record against teams they've played in the playoffs the last few years. That's a good point. That's a really good point. It does seem like the teams that we played in the playoffs, we up our level of play a little bit, although it still pisses me off that we lost to Boston the other day. But yeah, no, I don't disagree with you for the most part, Amanda. The disturbing part is that, in order to conserve energy, they feel like it kind of feels like they've had to disconnect, mentally kind of check out a little bit, not as engaged. Now, Chucky, every once in a while, it seems to me like Chucky is trying to get himself going by getting into these little scrums. You notice he stopped shaving. Okay? When Chucky shaves, it's not good. We need that greasy, grimy, irritated Kachuk, right? When he stops shaving, he gets irritable. I used to be that way too, until I just grew the beard. But before, when I was younger and I used to shave, and then I'd let it go for a week and it started to get prickly and itchy, I'd get irritable as hell. Craig says, I was the reverse, great on skateboard, horrible on skates. Gotcha. Is Amanda MJ's cousin? Maybe. Thank you again, Amanda. Silva says the only issue with Torts is that the successes relative could actually hurt the rebuild. Okay. Metal says we're still having scoring troubles. I want to win a game 4-1 with empty nets. Yeah, I mean, don't tell that to Maurice. Is not going to agree with you, though. That's for sure. Maurice, if you saw his interview last night during the game, they're like, so you're having a little bit of a slow start tonight. He's like, I don't know. It's not slow. We're not selling tickets here. That's a great line. It's a great line. He's like, I don't care how this looks. There's no score in the game. Did I see the portrait of Chucky being strangled? I saw the replay, but what did somebody do? Did somebody do a meme with it? Yeah, they had him in a chokehold and they called him 2 minutes for roughing. But I know everybody that hates Kachuk loves to see that. Comparing it to a classic painting, no, that I didn't see that. No, where is that? Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Great White. If I go to 2:00, you'll give me 200. I don't think I could make it to 2:00. We'll get Kyle. Trey says, we trade Spencer for Makar yet. The Ekblad's injury is holding up the deal. Ekblad's no trade clause is holding up the deal, Trey. Unfortunately, you're not trading Spencer. Damn it. And Trey just wants to trade all the players I like. Amanda says, I'm not worried about the offense. Just keep the defense functioning and improving. All right. I can't really disagree with that. And Amanda says, I'll give another 100 if I go to 2:00. All right. Okay. All right, then. I'll do it. I'm going to do it now. Jesse says, night for Tippett. I could do an hour just on that right now. All right. Y'all did this. Hold on a second now. Now I gotta get prepped. I says that's 150 an hour. That's better than the ladies of the night get. Yeah, that's more than I used to get back in my massage days. And no, I'm not telling those stories here. No, I'm not telling those stories here. But that was my going rate when I was a massage therapist, if that's what you like to call it. Trey says they're not going to pay up. Hey, look, Trey, I'll take my chances. If I sit here till 2:00, that's Vegas escort money. Oh, you know, I says those stories are on the OnlyFans. Here we go. Oh man, I had to stop telling those stories. It was gonna get people identified. I could see a cease and desist in my future. All right. Holy crap. Great White. Thank you, Amanda. Holy crap. Here we go. Oh my God. All right. Let's do this. I might need to stop and refill my water at some point, but we'll do it. Let's go. What do we got? I can't see my clock. Oh, by my eyes, the clock already says 2:48. If I ignore the 1, the clock says 2:48. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. JC says it's difficult for Jaws when he pays the resort, but it's the escort. Oh boy. You know, that's one thing I've never, well, I don't want to say I've never done it. I've never how can I put this? Is it possible to have had an escort by accident? I had an experience in Miami once that was it was an experience. And I guess the only thing that I can say is that if you are someone who wants to charge for those type of services, you should probably make it abundantly clear that you're charging for the services before you provide them. Before you provide the services, you should probably make it abundantly clear that you are providing a service. So I can't say I've never done it, but I didn't know I was doing it when I did it. That's what I can say about that. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. Thank you, Amanda. Great White says all my exes live in Texas. Yeah, right. It's a true story, Kit Kat. It's a true story. I didn't know. I was young. I was used to just being able to go out and you go out and you go to the club and you meet somebody and you go and you do your thing. I ain't never been charged for it after the fact, but it just wasn't worth the argument. It wasn't worth the argument. Julian says, do I have a favorite team or player when the Panthers are on an off night, or is that too much hockey to watch? I mean, I do root for the Sharks because Nick that's helped us out. That's his team. So I do hope that they do well. In terms of players, I always get a kick out of seeing an old, Gabranson highlight. He doesn't make the highlights much, but I like to see him. But generally speaking, on the nights now playoffs are different, but regular season, I only watch the Panthers for the most part. Well, Kyle and I will sit and watch the endings of the other games sometimes. But I can't say that there's any team that, like, well, if the Panthers don't win, I would want such and such team to win. David says, Jaws thought it was an Uber delivery. Oh, no, I'm not going to tag in Kyle. I will have to tell him because he's gonna wonder where the hell I went. Sharks beat Detroit 6-3 last night. All right. That's good. Good. That helps. Well, it kind of doesn't help us because now Detroit's going to be desperate for more points on Thursday. Yeah, Trey doing fake taxi content. Trey says if you drive between 2 and 4 a.m. in Houston, half of your passengers are going to be strippers. That's right, man. You got to get it. You got to get a webcam in there. You got to get a webcam in there and just live stream. It's probably not allowed, right? It's probably against the rules or something where you could live stream the people that you're picking up. I would assume that would be good. That would be a good like business idea for like people would watch the taxis at night to see if their significant other was getting picked up. iDog says, if you like to see Alex Lyon win a cup you'd like to see Alex Lyon win a cup someday. He helped save the 22 season, literally. That's a good point. Yeah. I still have the lion. I still have that sign. Your mom actually got your dash cam for Christmas, right? Taxi Cab Confessions. I don't know that I watched it much, but I did hear about it. Not if it's a game show like Cash Cab. Craig says, I worked as a bouncer in a social strip club. I was their driver. No penthouse forum stories. Yeah. Okay, so you're actually supposed to have one for your own protection. So could you get a hotspot and stream it, Trey? Like, there's got to be people that have done that, right? I mean, there's a niche. There's a niche for all sorts of content. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be a niche for that. Thank you, Amanda. She says, growing up, my favorite player was David Booth. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of good players that the Panthers had, just not all at the same time, right? Like Stephen Weiss kind of deserved to win. We never even want to play out. I mean, there's so many. Like when I did that video last week, and I was talking about that Panthers quarter century team, and they had Luongo as the number 1 goalie and Bobrovsky as the number 2 goalie. And I had never really put A and B together, but I mean, Luongo had all those years with us and all that success, never won a playoff series. His only playoff stats with the Panthers was the Islanders series. I still don't agree with them putting him in number 1, but it is what it is. Oh, JC, you were able to find a David Booth bobblehead. That can't be easy to come by. I says, put a sign on the side of the cab that says, by getting in the cab, you consent to being filmed. Right. Trey says, I dropped off a stripper at the start of her shift once. She left her keys in my car. I had to go back and give it to her. I didn't know if the name I had was the real one or a stripper name. That wasn't by accident, Trey. She was inviting you in. Come on, Trey. Yeah, Metal says, I'm hoping the Jackets do well. They've been through a lot. That's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah, Trey hanging out in college parking lots using the Wi-Fi. Hey, Trey, just bring the belt. Trey, wear the belt when you're picking up the strippers. Wear the belt when you're picking up the strippers. Weiss, Horton, Booth line was fun, whenever they put them together. Yeah, man, boy, that's some old names. Jeez. I was a fan of Weiss, Fleischman, Weiss, and Versteeg. It just had a ring to it. Best bobblehead ever made by the Panthers. So Julian says, I like watching hockey more than football in my downtime away from work. If the Cats are playing, I don't mind watching the Utah team. Wish we could add Mikhail Sergachev. Yeah. He got paid though, right? Yeah, football is a dying relationship with me. It's the games are so hard to watch now. I mean, it's a 3 and out, and it's a punt, and it's a commercial, and the commercials are 3.5 minutes now. And then there's a couple of plays, and a guy gets hurt, and it's another commercial. And the commercials are 3.5 minutes. And they come back, and there's three more plays, and it's a punt, and it's a commercial, and it's just on and on. It's interminable. There's no action because with the rules and everything, now everything is short passes in the running game. There's hardly any, there's no offensive action like there used to be. It's like playing a Madden game against yourself. It's like watching that. When you would play against the computer on Madden and you had like 4 plays that you knew the defense could never stop, and you just keep running it and running it and running it. Like the real game is like that now. I should have Kyle come in and do a Panthers win dance. Yeah, I don't think Kyle's going to do that. You guys would be surprised how hard it is for me to get Kyle. He's busy doing something that I asked him to do on eBay, so I don't want to distract him. Amanda says it's only right that the Jackets make the playoffs after what happened to Gaudreau. That's true, but then how far does the sympathy extend, though? Right? How far? Because the Jackets, if they get in as the 8th seed, they're going to have to play the Capitals, right? And that's likely to be it for them. So just the belt and beard. Trey says, I don't pick up the passengers, so I don't know when I'm getting one. I gotcha. You don't pick the passengers, right? Yeah, guys, that line almost won us a playoff round by himself. I know, right? Yep. The beard is all that's needed. No, but another BK commercial. Oh boy, right? Trey says 7 to 12 is mostly bar patrons. 12 to 3 is when you get drunkies, bartenders, strippers, bouncer. Then 3 to 5 is the airport rush. And then when the sun is out, traffic in Houston is terrible, so we don't do that shit. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Amanda says, this is for Kyle. I'm almost certain he likes talking about football more than hockey. He needs his own channel. Amanda, I have told him, he's got a whole football channel sitting there. It's monetized. I can't do it. Like between the eBay work and the other things I need to do to try to bring money in so I can keep doing this channel, I just can't blow my eyes on the football. But I've told him, I'm like, man, do it. Do something. You enjoy talking about it so much. Sometimes he talks to me about it for 45 minutes. I'm like, Kyle, you could have just filmed that as a podcast. But maybe eventually. If it happens, it's not going to happen because I asked him to do it. It would have to be you all saying, hey, Kyle, that's the only way it's going to happen. Because I'm dad. You know what I mean? So if I'm asking him to do it, it kind of feels like I'm asking him to do work. You see what I'm saying? I want to. Jack, Jaw's going till 2. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. Last 4 minutes of the show. No, I'm going till 2, Great White. I'm going to 2. Jesse says, I used to play NHL with Steven. Really? Wow. Julian says, no, Jaws. It's the constant baby flags in football. You know how to blow a kiss and it's a flag. That too. It's all of it. It's all of it. I says, Trey, you should have Jaws in Colorado and Florida. That was Brother Gene's job. Yeah. That's okay. I haven't driven around down there in a long time. Last time I went and saw the house I grew up in was 2011, 2012. That's the last time I actually drove around Miami and everything. iDog says if we beat the Jackets in the playoff series, they'll hate us even more. It would actually be the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the most likely thing, unless both wild cards come out of the Metro. Meadow says making the playoffs, talking about Columbus, making the playoffs would be far beyond the expectation for them. Even if they get swept, making the playoffs would be a huge success for them. Yeah, the Jackets. Yeah. It would be a good story. It really would be a good story. What is oh yeah, Lil J. He wants to know what my opinion on the hockey psychology and takedowns. Right. Yeah, let me I hadn't made a video about this, and I guess I kind of probably should throw my hat into the ring. Because I guess they got Paul from the locker room too. One of my biggest pet peeves in life, I would say, is someone being willing to overlook the rules and then using that against you and retroactively deciding that you broke the rules. I'm actually going through something very similar to that in my former personal life. It feels, I wouldn't want to say it feels blackmailish, but it feels dirty that the NHL allowed them to build these channels, and the amount of work that goes in to producing those videos. Let me tell you, yeah, they're making good money, but the amount of work that goes into the editing of those videos is tremendous. People would never unless you edited videos, you can't understand how you get this one bit of film and you think I'm going to make a 3-minute video and you look up and it's been 3 hours and you're like, how did that take me 3 hours? So what I really don't like about what the NHL is doing, putting aside it's their legal right, it's that they let them do it. They've been letting them do it all these years. And then now they're even going in and retroactively, the videos that they already knew were there, stuff that they already have, at least Eck and them, they've already made their money from those videos for the most part. But what the NHL is doing is it's targeted. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever unless you probably peel back the layers and you look. And this is most likely coming from the streaming services. Now, what I don't understand is the disconnection from reality that the NHL and their management and whoever is really responsible for doing this has, because those videos keep people in touch. I've watched hockey psychology stuff many times when I just don't have the time to keep up on everything. And his week breakdown gives you a good overview of everything that's going on. And that shit takes time, a lot of time. And it's not just watching that bit of film once and doing a commentary on it. It's scripting and writing it again and getting it right and getting the timing of the script exactly timed with the footage. That is hard, demanding work in terms of mental and the physical toll on your hands and your eyes and everything. It's a bad look. I don't know why they're doing it, but it seems malicious because many other places that could copyright material have already done, you know what, we're going to do a revenue split with you. Okay. We get some, you get some, everybody's happy. You guys keep making your content. But what the NHL is doing is they're just ripping something to shreds that was good for the game. And you guys know this was the direction I was heavily considering taking when I started making those videos with Nick before the season started. And now I'm just thankful that I pulled the plug on that for different reasons. I just didn't have the money to invest in it. But I can't explain to you they're being very, very diplomatic and calm about it up front, but behind the scenes, I know if they did that to me, I mean, somebody's going to have to keep me out of jail. If I was in their position, having built a channel to that level, and I've got employees and I'm paying people, and we've got this whole thing going, and they just decide to retroactively take me out, somebody's going to have to keep me out of jail. That's what I know. Now, I'm not criticizing them for not taking it to that level, because that's just how I am. But that's the level of frustration and anger that should be directed to the NHL for doing that. It is. I haven't talked about it because I kind of wanted to see if they were going to pull back a little bit, and instead it looks like they're digging their heels in even deeper. It's a sad situation. I don't think it's going to end well for a lot of people. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom because I know I missed some comments. Hey, Matthew. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. All right. Let's talk about the game yesterday. What did I like and what didn't I like? Did I like the line combinations? No, I did not. I told Maurice personally. I called him and I said, I don't know if he answered or not, but I told him, it was telepathically. I said, Barkov, Reinhart, Samoskevich. I didn't say Chucky with Barkov and Reinhart. He screwed it up. And the other part is that if you're going to move Samoskevich up, I appreciate the gesture, Paul. I get it. I do. However, you put him with the wrong dude. That's not Sam Bennett. I don't know who that is in the number 9 jersey, but it's not Sam Bennett. It's an imposter. The clone machine is all effed up, and that's not Sam Bennett. So I don't know exactly who on that line between Bennett and Luosterainen is supposed to benefit from the chaos that Mackey's speed can cause. Put him up with Barkov and Reinhart, then you got two guys, that can put the puck in the back of the net, and you got Mackey just making a mess out of everything in a good way. That would work. But instead, he puts him with, I love Luosterainen, but he's not. He's not going to give you offensive production. So I didn't like that. Now, honestly, if you wanted to do something right, Barkov, Reinhart, Samoskevich, Bennett, Tkachuk, Boqvist, Lundell, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez. Did I leave out Luosterainen? I did. Maybe Lundell, Luosterainen, Verhaeghe. Maybe Luosterainen back down to the 4th, because he doesn't seem to be. There's a number of guys that could go, Luosterainen and Rodriguez. But I think if you want to take advantage of these guys' speed, Boqvist and Samoskevich should be in the top 6. Certainly Boqvist should. And if you're going to move Samoskevich around, he's got to have guys with him that can put the puck in the back of the net. That's the problem on the 4th line. He keeps creating opportunities and nobody's there to put the puck in the back of the net. I scroll down all the way to the bottom here. Craig says, yeah, the big hockey content creators bust their butt. They do. I don't know how Hockey Guy does it. There's no way Hockey Guy has a life outside of what he does. If he does, bless him. It's not a criticism. Well, I just don't understand how he does all that. It would take me 2 hours to set up the freaking magnets on the board. I have my glasses on. I'd be like, is that, you know, I don't know how he makes all that content. Craig says NHL sees dime, same as stream TV content. Right, greedy. Silva says the NHL doesn't want channels like yours and X to exist. It's an annoyance to them. They don't care if it grows the game. They just want to silence all criticism. And that is a big part of it. That's why I talked about this yesterday. It's not personal that the Panthers won't reach out to me. It's a league-wide thing. I've talked to some other creators. Craig says the line shakeups are for the fans to do something. They can mix the bench around and still function no matter who's on the ice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, the hockey guy, he's got a good thing going for himself, but he's done the work. But in terms of yesterday's game and those line combinations, I'm really curious to see what happens to the defensive pairs once Ekblad comes back. Where's Kulikov going to go? Is he going to put Kulikov with Mikkola or Forsling, Ekblad, Mikkola, Balinskis, Kulikov, Bornfoot, Boqvist? I mean, we have some guys that can move the puck and have some speed. Boqvist, Bornfoot, Balinskis. But are they going to have enough experience? Are they going to be good enough come playoff time? And then if not, what are you going to get? And that's the question here is, on one hand, you have what we have right now. Let's just use it as Balinskis, Bornfoot, and Boqvist, those three guys, because we know what we got with Kulikov. So you got those guys. And then you got whatever is available out there via trade. And then you have, what are we going to have to give up to get that person in the trade? And the two questions is the difference between the player that we trade for and Balinskis, Boqvist, or Bornfoot, is that a Stanley Cup? And then are the assets that we give up to get said player worth a Stanley Cup? Now, generally speaking, that answer is going to be yes, right? If you know you're going to win the cup because of this player, then the assets were worth it. Nobody is complaining about the first that we gave up for Giroux with Tippett if we would have won the cup that year, right? So, but the difference between Balinskis, Bornfoot, and Boqvist and whoever we get, to find a guy that's going to make that big of a difference that you say, okay, yeah, now we know we're going to win the cup again, or now we have a significantly better chance. Those guys aren't going to come cheap. And we have nothing to give. I mean, we have, some odds and ends. You could probably still win without Rodriguez. Not that I want to get rid of him, but I'm just saying that, and then there's that, right? Is what we lose, is trading Erod for a defenseman and losing to gain there. Do we gain enough over what we already have to make it worthwhile? Craig says the overtime shows Maurice trusts Balinskis to be out there, so I guess they may be using this so they don't need to make a deadline move. I'm glad you brought that up, Craig, because I saw that during the game and I didn't mention it, but I kind of was watching, thinking to myself, oh, he's got Balinskis out there in overtime. Balinskis has been solid, right? I mean, we know what he's going to be, and in this system, if the forwards are doing their job and the goalie is doing his job, the main thing we need out of our defensemen is don't screw it up. Right? right? Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Let's see what she's got. Barkov, Reinhardt, Samoskevich, Bennett, Verhage, Kachuk, Lundell, Lusterainen, Rodriguez, Greer, Gadjevich, new fourth line center, and Giles. I'm in. I like that. I like that. Now, the fourth line center, where'd you put Boquist? You got Boquist on the second? You left out Boquist. You left out Jesper Boquist, Amanda. Barkov, Ryan, Samoskevich, Bennett, Verhage, Kachuk, Lundell, Lusterainen, Rodriguez. Boquist is the fourth center, is the 4C. I do the same thing all the time. Yeah. Yeah, because Boquist was the 4C before Nosek came back, right? Okay, so now when you say it that way, see, but now I don't disagree with you, but I don't think that Maurice is going to put Boquist back on the fourth line. I think maybe in that configuration, Lundell, Boquist, Rodriguez, and maybe move Lusterainen back down to 4C. Remember, he was our 4C the entire year of the President's Trophy season. So then maybe go Lundell, Boquist, Rodriguez, and then Lusterainen with Greer, Gadjevich, Giles, and whoever we pick up to be this year's Okposo. Hey, Spaceman, goes Texans on Saturday. I know, man. The Gadget's always hurt. It's gotta be. These guys, they're beating the crap out of themselves. I know Achari was pretty beat up, and he needed a year to kind of come back to being himself again. Great White says, do I know any two players that don't like being on the line with each other? Sometimes Barkey likes playing by himself. The only thing I know I've ever heard about anything like that is that Reinhardt prefers not to play center. And in fact, so much so that there was a spot in the game last night where Barkov got kicked from the circle, I think, and Kachuk took the face off. As Barkov, Reinhardt, Kachuk was out there, and I forget who got kicked. I assume it was Barkov, but Chucky took the face off. Of course, he lost it. Yeah, Gadjo, unfortunately, yeah, I hate to see that. The Pens put Jari on waivers? What? What incarnation? Did they get somebody new that we don't know about? Or are they giving up on the season? I mean, he's got a decent sized contract. I don't think anybody's going to claim him. Is there any teams that are really desperate at goalie that might claim him? That's a surprise. Are they quitting? No, I come here for my news. Where are they? They're 4 points out of a playoff spot. Are they quitting? I mean, they're 18, 20, and 8 with a minus 36 goal differential. So maybe they see the reality of things, right? Amanda, I know Mr. Swiggly is close to a breakthrough. Swiggles? Swiggles? I know we'll have to write a song about him, right? We'll have to write a song for him. He's turned. I'm not going to say he's turned into unclutch, but a bit of a shock on Jari. Yeah, Craig, 4.5 million to the cap. All right, here comes Trey with lines. Barkov with Reinhardt and Samoskevich. Bennett with Kachuk and Bolquist. Yep. Lundell, E2 Verhage. Okay. And then he's going to put Crosby on the fourth line, isn't he? He's going to have Crosby at 4C. I know it. Nosek with Rodriguez and Greer. I'm down with that. Any word on the Bennett extension, eyes? No. So I like Trey's. Barkov, Reinhardt, Samoskevich, Bennett, Kachuk, Bolquist, Lundell with E2 and Verhage. Nosek with Rodriguez and Greer. Yeah. Trey has Crosby on D. Yeah, we traded Ekblad for Crosby and we put him next to Forsling. Greg says, I'm calling Swaggy Clanky till he hits the net more regularly. 2 chances in overtime last night. I was screaming at him on the stream. I'm like, you got one job, dude. You got one job. That's like the only job you have. Like, that's it. Right? It's just, you made a nice defensive play. That's fine. You have one job. Score in overtime. Oh, man. And he's just missing. I think he hit the post in the first shot. But Trey says Bennett and Spencer to Pittsburgh sit at 2C. Man, not Spencer. I don't want to do Spencer. Bennett and Bennett and Ekblad. Oh, but wait. Then now, Pittsburgh needs a goalie, right? But I'm not giving them Spencer. Spencer's Bob insurance. I see that, Trey. Great White says Lundell with Verhage would work. It did start to pick up a little bit when Maurice first did it. Spaceman, is the lake I live by where you take Fluffy get frozen? Yeah. It's frozen pretty solid right now. We actually went out there. It gets cold enough here. Even the bay, for the most part, was frozen over. You couldn't walk out on the bay, like you couldn't go ice fishing, but yeah, the river down here, absolutely, it's frozen solid now. Man, it says, does Verhage remind me of Marsh or so? A little bit. Yeah. I don't know if Marsh so was a little bit faster. I think Verhage gets a bad rap for his defense. I really don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. Trey says, okay, Bob and Bennett for Sid and Letang. Holy crap. Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. Bob and Bennett for Sid and Letang. Oh, you're killing me. Can you imagine? I know it's never going to happen. Can you imagine? Like, I want to watch a movie. A movie, not a real. Like, I want to watch a movie of people's reactions to that trade. That was so much fun being the talk of the league for those couple of days with the Kachuk trade, and the whole league was just like, what? That was a blast, man. Craig says night stays. Yeah, no, you got to keep night. I says, try doing that trade in NHL 25 and see what it says. They got to give us more than Sid and Letang. We need a first-round pick. You're talking about giving them a Stanley Cup. Yeah, send them Driegs. Yeah. Bennett and Drieger for Sid. There you go. I like Craig's idea. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. I'm almost certain the Panthers extend Bob. I would not be surprised at all by that. Now, the question's going to be, what price tag, right? God, we've got so much stuff coming up. Because, don't forget, Zito likes to extend guys sometimes before they, are we going to go into next season with both Bobrovsky and Knight on expiring contracts? We might see those contracts get get put out during the summer. And I'm not saying he's regretting the Verhaeghe extension, but we'll find out during the playoffs, right? We'll find out during the playoffs if that extension was really needed. And the Delkovich bag, Kenneth? Yeah, that's one of the hard ones I actually can say. Yeah, Craig, I like that. Send them Dreegs. 2 years, $5 million for Bob. That sounds about right. Yeah. The question is, what you're going to pay Spencer, right? Because he's already been way overpaid, right? He's already been paid on potential, but he may not. And this is the thing with that, Craig, is that, you're talking about a 1A and a 1B type of situation, because Spencer might be like, I've had enough of this Bob bullshit and I want to go be a starter somewhere. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's any number of teams in the Eastern Conference that would just love to take him off our hands. Who's our top AHL prospect right now? I mean, I guess the guy that was closest to making the team was Sordiff. I know a lot of people were high on Sachin, but Sordiff almost made the team. In fact, I'm surprised he hasn't been called up with Gadjevich, but we haven't needed. We've had guys. In terms of guys that could be producing, yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. What Trey said, Sachin, in terms of guys that could be producers. Hi, Ruby. Ruby, is that on Twitch? Are you on Twitch? We don't get a lot of people saying hi on Twitch. I appreciate that. Sordiff's been hot lately. See, Craig says Knight 4.75, 2 years. Then when Bob goes, we bump Knight up. If Knight goes for that, right? Because he's not even RFA anymore, right? Now he's going to be a regular free agent. Ruby, yeah, we're seeing it. We're seeing it, Ruby. Thanks for joining us. You said, yeah, I think you're not reading the chats. I've sent some designs to show you related to your streaming content. I'm sure you loved it. Go ahead and email me. Email me at flyingfluffyhockey@gmail.com, because you're right. I don't go to Twitch because I use StreamYard. So all of the comments from everywhere I stream to, because I stream to Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the same time. So all the comments are at one place. So it's possible that StreamYard or YouTube is blocking whatever you're sending. So if you've got something for me, just email me at flyingfluffyhockey@gmail.com. And I usually try to get back to people within a day. I appreciate that. Great White says, it's coming. Knight wants to get to the top spot. Yeah, that's a big question, right? We paid him the 4.5 because we were worried that, another team might have offer sheeted him. You get to a certain point where other teams might just be willing to play games with us just to weaken us, right? Especially if we win the cup again. And then there's the question, I don't think this would happen, but if we did win the cup again, do you think Bobrovsky would be like, deuces, I'm out? You know what I mean? Knight, says Knight he's an RFA after next year. He's still so he's got one more year of RFA. Oh man, that's weird. You would have thought his second contract would have covered that whole period. Thank you for letting me know that, Eyes. That makes a difference. Craig, that's a good point. Yeah, Knight may want the comfort and security of staying in one place. Right. Who's my biggest surprise this year? I mean, I'd have to say Jesper. I think I would have to agree with that. Um, yeah, I'd have to agree with Jesper being the guy that I'm most surprised with. Belinskas has been probably a little bit more solid than I think we thought. Trey says, "What team would piss off Jaws most if he offers seated Mackey?" Yeah, thank you, Kenneth. Don't even just don't even just. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God, no. All right, who do we got to trade to make sure we sign? We'll trade for Hagee to Vegas. He can be their Marchessault replacement. Oh God, no. No, no, no. Amanda says, yeah, Jesper is going to get extended here. He's Nick Cousins on steroids. Yeah, I like that. I like that. He's even got the same like color kind of beard, the gruff there. Yeah. I says, our team's really high on Mackey as we are. I mean, I don't know. Here's what I know, Eyes. I know that I read a lot of articles talking about how Aaron Ekblad is going to be the most highly coveted, sought after free agents in the defense for the NHL next year. So that shows that, and this is probably goes to say for all fan bases, but we might all, when you're looking at your own team every night, you might have a different opinion. Look at what Calgary fans thought they were getting with Huberdeau. Right? Look at what Calgary fans thought they were getting with Huberdeau. Man, this says Mackey needs to gain some weight. He never wins the board battles. Yeah, absolutely. But go back and look at how big Owen Tippett was when he started and how big he is now. He's like giant freaking moose now. Good God, that guy he's jacked. But yeah, I agree with you there about Mackey. But he's still only like 22, right? Let me see. He's 22, and he's not even going to be 23 until November. So he just turned 22, right? And he's got the height, right? I mean, he's 5'11", so he's plenty tall enough. So just Trey. Craig says Mackey needs 15 more pounds and to be more dominant with his puck control. Yeah, he'll get there. He'll get there. I mean, look at who lost the two players this year to RFAs. Was it Edmonton or who was it that lost two players? We talked about it before, but I'm drawing a blank. That's a lot of buffets in Vegas. And he won't probably sweat off 10 pounds every practice too, right? Yeah, Edmonton to St. Louis. Thank you, Kenneth. Yeah, I mean, it does happen. I mean, all it takes is one team in the Eastern Conference with a little bit of extra cap space to be like, hey, why don't we screw the Panthers? Manny says, wow, we really traded for Drew and lost Tippett. That was a worst trade. And a first. Don't leave out the first round pick. Don't leave that out. Oh, don't get me started. No, I don't think Samoskevich is going to go anywhere because eventually we just can't pay everybody. You've got to have guys like him and Boquist. You put those two together in terms of having young assets that can come up. And, when you've got a solid team the way the Panthers do, we don't need – like Samoskevich doesn't need to be the second coming of Ovechkin to be successful. If he can be a second line player and get 22 25 goals a season, that'd be huge for us. Right, Metal says Edmonton lost Broberg and Holloway to the Blues on offer sheets. Yeah. I says Huberto is having a bounce back year. He had 32 points in 43 games, on pace for 63 points, which is an improvement. And that's kind of normal Huberto, right? That's like he's always been like a 70-ish point guy, except for that 1 year. Do we know who that first round pick ended up being? Trey, is that really who it was? Bro. Trey just ruined my day. Really? Man, it says, I think Reinhardt will average 34 to 50 goals for his whole contract, and he's not even fast. He's just smart. Yeah, no doubt there. Yeah, 35 to 40. Well, yeah, over the course of the contract. Yeah. Really, Trey? Really? It was. So we traded Tippett and Mitchkov for okay. All right, no, that's cool. Maurice wouldn't play him anyway, right? Oh, you suck, Trey. You suck. Okay. Thank you, Kenneth. Why you got to do that, Trey? Why you got to do that to me, man? Man, that was their own pick. All right. Okay. Because it was funny. Yeah, that's all right. Somebody take Trey's caricature away. Damn it. I'm going to retract that shit. Oh, what do you want? You got me here. I'm going to be here almost 2 hours and you're picking on the old man. Hey, Dana. Dana, there's been some serious financial offers if I stay till 2:00. Simon says, do I think the Panthers players will have time off for the fornication cup, in my opinion? Okay. Talk to text Scott Simon. Poor Simon. He says the Four Nations Cup, and Talk to Text got him and said the Fornication Cup. That's got to be. I got to screenshot that. That is awesome. No, they're not, because we've got 8 players going to the Nations Cup. 8 of our best players, 7 or 8 of our best players are going. So I don't think they're going to have much rest. Silva says, so hear me out about loaning Mackey to the Blackhawks, Jaws. So instead of loaning Mackey, we loan Sordev. As long as we get double back. We get double back. I says, if someone offers more money, Jaws will never stop streaming. No, we definitely got to stop it too. My teeth hurt. We definitely stopping it too. Yeah, I'm going to shave his beard. Yeah, I'm going to shave his. Unfortunately, I gave him the damn caricature. I paid $50 so he could make fun of me. Damn it. Same deal. The Hawks give them back after the year is over. This is just a sort of get some more ice time. I wish he would, right? News from Trey is 50% accurate, 25% Mackey trades, and the rest false. Oh man, he had a fornication cup. Yeah, that's got. Oh, I don't want Simon to think we're making fun of him, because it's not his fault. That's the Talk to Text. I don't even know if Simon, if you understand what that word meant. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. She says, talk about the Sabres, Reinhardt and Eichel. They are like the Marlins, just a farm system. Not just that. Calgary. I mean, Goudreau, Kachuk, Lomberg. Oh, they did get Lomberg back. Right? A little late. A fornication cup. That was great, Simon. Oh my God. Viewers up 300% for the Four Nations, right? Simon says, what's my opinion about the trade deal? Do you think, what about Bill Zito is going to do? You know, I wish I had a better answer for you, man. Judging by how Maurice has been talking, because I've gone back and forth. I thought defense forward, defense forward. Judging by Maurice, my guess would be a defenseman to put on the second pair with Mikkola and somebody that's veteran depth like Okposo on the fourth line. That would be my guess about what they're going to do. I don't really know that we have the assets to go get somebody that would be a top 6 guy. Simon, okay. All right, buddy. I appreciate that. I know the talk to text gets to you. that was pretty funny, though. That's pretty funny. Boy. You'd love to face Sweden in the Fortification Cup. Amanda says, Mikkola is right up there with Forsling, in your opinion. Very, 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 very consistent. Very consistent. That was a perfect signing by Zito. Absolutely. And hey, who knows how this is all going to work out next year, you know, if we have a little bit of money. Yeah, the Fornication Cup will be a running joke. There's no doubt. That's awesome. Well, we had been talking about being a sex worker earlier, so it fits. It fits with the vibe, right? But yeah, no, Mikkola is one of those guys, knock on wood, that, you know, we need Nico Mikkola to be 100% happy and healthy. We'll just put it that way. So now, I guess with Ekblad, it was something lower body, so the hand was fine. Let him continue to take some time off. I was thinking about that earlier. I wonder if, as the season comes to a close, those last 30 games, which we're almost there, I wonder if, and I suppose that the answer is probably no, but I was wondering if Maurice was going to give guys some veteran rest games off, you know, give Barkov a game off, give Chucky a game off, give Bennett 2 weeks off, right? Or find the real Sam Bennett. I don't know who that is in the number 9 jersey. Still said, I'll be down to compete in the Fornication Cup. Man, Mikkola is only on a 3-year contract, expires next year. Yeah. That's another one that we're going to have to pay. And that's why, we don't have anybody that can replace him, right? It's one thing needing a suitable second pair for him. That's a guy, he needs to be extended. Will do, Simon. I will do, but he's downstairs. He's downstairs listed on eBay right now. He found some big old maps that he wants to list. So he's downstairs working. Yeah, I says we need to develop D-men better. Amanda, who would I rather have, Montour or Mikkola? Mikkola all day long. All day long, I'd rather have Mikkola. No disrespect to Montour. Mikkola has offensive upside. He's not going to turn into Cale McCarr or something. But when we need a little bit of a shot, he does have. Who I wish would shoot more is Forsling. He's got an absolute cannon of a shot. He needs to use it more. Craig says Mickey's size and skill make him unique. Yeah. No, we need to re-sign him. That would change the whole that would screw up the whole dynamic. And that is one thing that there's a weakness on the team. Like when Barkov gets hurt, if he's out for a couple of weeks, you put Lundell. All right, we're good. You know what I mean? He's not Barkov, but we can manage, right? But Bennett and Mikkola especially are guys that we just don't have a replacement for. Someone wants to know what do I think about what the lineup is going to be in the playoffs. Unfortunately, I have a really bad feeling that through a mixture of moves and attrition, I have a sneaky feeling that somehow Sam Miskevich is going to end up on the bench in the playoffs. I don't trust Maurice. I think we'll get some guy for the fourth line. Maybe two. I just don't trust Maurice to leave him on. He does have a tendency. He's a young player. He's 22. Like we said before, he needs to gain some weight. So physicality-wise, he does have some off spots there, no doubt. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Right. Amanda says the Panthers are just not willing to engage in the physicality right now. Usually Bennett lays guys out. That's true. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't blame him. I can't blame him whatsoever. Right? Look, Craig says unless Mackey goes on a heater. Yeah, and that's something I've been saying. He needs to put the puck, he needs to make good on some of these opportunities he's getting. I says Samuel will be on the second line in the playoffs due to an injury. He has a breakout and wins the Conn Smythe. Hell yeah. Well, who gets hurt? I don't want anybody to get hurt. The new guy we don't have yet gets hurt. How about that? We trade for a guy to put him on the fourth line instead of Sam Miskevich, and then Karma and that dude gets hurt, and then Sam Miskevich has to go back in. I says Swaggy gets hurt. Oh, boy. I can't be wishing that. Can't be wishing that, right? We need Swaggy. Amanda says that hit Bennett had on Slavin is one of the best I've ever seen. He'll show up in the playoffs. And that's what I was getting ready to say, right? Is that we're going to know early on. God, I think it's going to be Tampa again. I really think it's going to be Tampa again. Unless Toronto blows the division and we end up playing the Leafs in the first round. Flames contacting the Sabres about Cousins, but it's just a report. Well, we're going to start seeing stuff move a little bit now, right? We're less than 2 months away. Right? What is it, March 8th? Let me see when that is. When is the NHL trade deadline? Come on, give me the answer. March 7th. So less than 2 months now. Less than 2 months is what we got. So you'll start to see some moves and everything. But with all these teams, that's another part to it. Is there's a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference that are right there. And, are you going to give up on your season if you're 4 points out? What's Pittsburgh doing putting Jari on waivers? Has he been that bad? Anyone who trades with the Sabres becomes cup contenders. That's true. Let me see it. It just came up. Tristan Jari. I'm trying to look at Jari's stats here. His salary is 5.3. It's so odd. Do they have a guy? Does Pittsburgh have a young guy they want to move in? Let's see. 3.31 and an 886. Yikes. That's kind of tough. His last 5 games, he's allowed 3, a shutout, but that was in relief. So in the last 5 games, he's allowed 2 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals, and 3 goals, but his save percentages are terrible, except for the game against the Panthers. That's really surprising. But at that price point, I can't imagine somebody's going to pick him up unless there's somebody maybe in the Western Conference that's desperate. Man, you think Alex Tuck would be a good fit for the Panthers? Where would you put him? Where would you put him? I still feel like we can get Connor Murphy. Put him next to Mikla, that would settle some things down. I just wonder how much gas Kulikov has left in the tank, right? He's no youngster. Between him and Schmidt, we need to get a little bit younger. Kachuk Bennett, put him with so all right. What's his salary? Let's see. There we go. Let's see. What's his salary? 4.75 million. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna who's going? Who's going? Unless you're gonna give him something to retain salary, right? How's he doing this year? Let's see. I mean, he got 17 goals, right? No, that's 17 assists. 14 goals, 17 assists right now. He's been pretty consistent over the course of he had the 1 year was 36, then 22. He's about at the 22 goal pace this year. Yeah, if you could get him to I see that, Trey. I see that, Trey. No. Bad, Trey. Bad. Craig says, no Murphy. He's nurse in the Midwest. I've heard varying opinions, but I can respect that. Amanda says we'd have to trade Ekblad. Huh. Well, problem with that is then who we put next to Forsling in the playoffs? They wouldn't do it anyway. We'd have to give him like sort of. We're going to have to give him something to retain all the salary. And they would literally have to retain all the salary, right? Because you're talking about 4.75, though I know it's prorated, but we don't have any money. They don't have enough money to sign me right now. And I play for cheap. Trust me. But that could work. That he's definitely the kind of player that could work for sure. Great White. We're not giving. Can you imagine that if after all that we robbed Buffalo of Reinhart because they thought Devon Levi was going to be the guy, and we kept the right goalie, and then we go and we give him Spencer Knight anyway? Hell no. Hell no. No. Unless, what are they going to do? Levi and Tuck for Knight? Wouldn't that be some shit? Huh? Trey says that we still have Guzda. Yeah, Amanda, when the Sam Reinhart deal was Levi in a first for Sam Reinhart. Yeah, Levi was the prize in that. So wouldn't that be something if we went and reversed it and you took Levi and Tuck for Knight? But I don't know. Yeah, and then we'll trade for Guzda in the future, right? Guzda's not been playing well. I don't know if he's hurt or what. But last time I looked, no, not Mackie Samaskevich. We got too many guys named Mackie. There we go. Let's see. What's he doing right? He's in the AHL, Charlotte. He's only played 2 games. So he must be hurt. He's got a 202 and a 930, but he hasn't even played this year. Anybody know what happened to Guzda? Amanda says it's not the player, it's the system, right? Right? What happened to Matt Guzda? He's not even playing. He must have been hurt. There's no stats for him for this year. He played 2 games last year with Charlotte and nothing so far this year. Do I think Bill Zito will make a deal before the deadline like that weekend? Yeah. I think we're going to be looking at 2 deals. I think we'll be looking at 2 deals. Trey says he showed you all he needed to show. Now he's waiting for his moment. Where the hell is he? Is he hurt? No, I think we're looking at 2 deals, Simon. I think we'll get a defenseman and a forward. But I don't know that, to Amanda's point about maybe getting Tuck, I think you're more likely to see Boquist take that spot. I mean, he's on the same kind of pace, right? Kyle was up early. That's why you didn't hear him get up. I got home from the gym at 10:30. He's already awake. He was already awake. He wants to start getting to the gym with me. So he's trying to wake up earlier, which I don't know exactly how that's going to work out for him because I go to the gym at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I know he ain't getting up at no 6 to 7. I know he's not going to the gym with me in the morning. So what he's going to do is he's going to start waking up earlier. But it's too late to go to the gym before the noon stream. So it's still going to be after that. And I don't like going to the gym at 2 o'clock in the afternoon after my eBay work because I've already been up for 7 or 8 hours and my body's tired. Kenny says, other than Samoskevich, who would you be surprised to see dealt at the deadline to bring in any player? Luosterainen. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I would want that, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him or Rodriguez moved. Now, in terms of who would I be surprised to see dealt? I mean, the shocker would be Bennett. Well, I mean, that's who you're talking about. You're talking about Sammy Bennett, or you're talking about Sammy Skevich. Manny says, can we find a replacement for Luosterainen? Well, it just depends on how they want to lay things out. Boquist gives us a replacement for only one player, but he does give us a replacement for either like a Erod or a Luosterainen. I think in the end you'll see Lundell back or Luosterainen. Luosterainen, maybe Boquist. But there's so much. There's what I hope doesn't happen. I hope, and this could happen, because remember, we've already seen Zito is willing to throw the kitchen sink at things, right? We saw that, with the year with the Drew and the Sherratt trade. God dang, that was a waste of money. But I just wonder if he's going to look at this roster and think, if we throw the kitchen sink at things, that they can win again. Right? Yeah, no, Trey. No. No, Trey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 2:01. It is 2:01, and my voice is gone. So, all right. So there's nothing tonight. And then there is, what do we got? We got the Red Wings tomorrow, right? Maybe. We got the Red Wings tomorrow. And then, thank you, Great White. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Amanda. Everybody, seriously, much appreciated. Much appreciated. Now, in terms of football, I don't know what we're doing this weekend because I think the Saturday game kind of interferes with, let me see. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Eyes. Thank you all very, very much. Seriously, your generosity is off the charts. This was fun. This was fun. This was good. This was good. My teeth are gonna hate me later, but there's no game. I couldn't do it on a game day. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Saturday the game, Texans Chiefs at 4:30, Commanders Lions at 8:00, and then so that's gonna screw with. No, I need Florida Panthers. Not. I'm trying to look at the Saturday schedule. Panthers play Saturday at 6, so it screws both games. It screws both games. Dang. So we'll have to work that out. All right, everybody. Thank you all. We had a good time. Appreciate all the support. Yeah, like the stream. Appreciate that. And then I will see you all tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow at noon for your next therapy session. All right, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll see you then.